situation in Nigeria, before we go straight into the discussion, your take about the housing situation in Nigeria? Positive, negative, hopeful? Let us know.
Well, I can say the housing sector is hopeful.
Okay.
Right? Because it has potential. And if the right things are done, definitely we will get there. So that's one thing about Nigeria. All over the world, Nigeria is a very rosy investment destination for investors. But what we have is the environment, or that attraction that will make people come and do the needful. That is just.
But when you look at Nigeria's situation, especially the housing industry, we understand about 19 million housing deficit. This was what we are facing. Now, how do you think this industry can be revived in terms of reducing this number?
Because 19 million is a lot.
Looking at the 180 million people.
Yes.
19 million housing deficit.
Definitely, it's a very big problem, and according to the statistics that we have, the government cannot even help us.
Please, could you speak louder so our people can hear?
I'm sorry. The government cannot help the situation.
Okay.
Because government doesn't have the resources to provide housing for Nigerians. Like at every forum, I always say that all government effort has just been like a drop in the ocean, right? So it's very clear that government cannot help us, but we can solve the problem somewhat by some things that we are trying to do.
Okay.
And what are we trying to do? We're trying to bring people together to develop a civil culture where wealth is created, and when wealth is created, we can use these resources to access advantages, and then of course for our own benefits. So that is some of the things we do. The problem we have, one of the challenges of the housing sector, like I rightly will have said, is that first of all, we have primary challenges, and we have secondary challenges.
Okay.
Secondary challenges everybody knows. The primary challenges is our culture, our environment, and our mindset. First of all, in the sense that these problems are solved by innovation.
Okay.
You innovate things. I was meeting with a construction expert from Thailand, I think it was yesterday. He was telling me that the same problem that we have in Nigeria, they have in their country too. But what's the difference? They innovate a lot. So I said, by virtue of that, they have a lot of technologies for the housing sector.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that the primary problem is that we don't innovate.
Okay.
We don't think outside the box. We always think that somebody else has a problem rather than facing our challenges. Okay. So the best way as to present Nigeria is that we should resort to self-help. Self-help ourselves in terms of coming together, and then create wealth, and then use this wealth to help ourselves.
Now, when you talk about innovation, most times when you go on social media or you go on some other search engine platforms, you actually see how the rest of the world have actually reinvented the environment, always wanting to find a better way, a cheaper way to do things that people have been doing all this while. That brings us to the idea of you saying we need to look outside the box. How do you think we can begin to inculcate that passion into Nigerians, especially as it has to do with housing? Must it be cement for the house to be house worthy to live in? Must we always use cement to build houses?
Let me just chip in something here. We always say cement. Cement is just 20% of the total materials that we're going to use. But the question is, we have a lot of housing estates around there. People cannot afford to buy
That is why I'm asking the question, must it be cement? How do we begin to be innovative when it comes to housing? That's the question I'm asking a professional.
Well, talking about cement, it's like addressing just one aspect of the challenge.
So help us understand.
Cement falls under building materials. One of the challenges of the housing sector is high cost of building materials.
Okay.
Right? But that is just one. Now, I believe that with technology, we can circumvent the issue of materials,
Okay.
right? But there are other factors.
So what are the
as well.
factors? Help us.
Other factors are, for instance, easy access to land is part of it.
Okay.
There is high cost of land, and even when you have land, the process of titling the land, the process of those things you need to do for you to, if you actually want to follow the law, it's a cumbersome process as well. So it's part of the challenges, apart from funding. So it's a combination of so many things. So building materials, technology, we have technologies that can easily, easily circumvent the issue of cement, whatever. You get the point. But the issue of government policy, corruption, these are the issues that are hindering development in these sectors. More like, so that is